Hey everyone, welcome to the iMoney Talking Sense podcast. I'm your host Azrin, and today we got a special guest from CapBay. This is Xian, who is the Vice President of CapBay's Business Finance. And today we're going to dive into how CapBay helps SMEs and corporations get the funding they need to grow and succeed. Xian, welcome.
Thanks for having me today. Very happy to be here and very excited to share with you more about what we are doing at CapBay.
That sounds great. Let's kick things off with a little bit about your background here. Tell us a bit about your role in CapBay's business financing.
So I'm actually a relationship manager in the CapBay business finance team. To make it easy for the audience, relationship manager basically means that when businesses approach us for financing, RM is the go-to person for the entire A to Z process, from the moment responding to their inquiries until assisting with their financing applications and the disbursement of funds.
So you basically do everything. It's like from A to Z, every step of the way.
Yeah, we'll need to manage the entire process and timeline and the client's expectation.
I see. I mean, it must be fulfilling to see the impact you're making on these businesses, right? Speaking of which, actually, could you tell us a bit more about CapBay? How does CapBay help companies, especially SMEs, to compared to traditional financing option? Because I'm sure the approach is different there, right?
Yeah. So CapBay is a peer-to-peer financing platform which is specialized in supply chain financing and P2P investments. So we make financing accessible not only to the large corporates but also to the underserved SMEs in the market. And apart from that, we also have a platform for the investors to earn up to 10% per annum interest.
That's also an exciting part of CapBay's platform, right, for the investors as well. But we're not going to go into the investment side of things today. That could be for a different approach or a different episode. Instead, we're going to go into the business financing side of CapBay. So tell me, what specific financing solutions do you offer for businesses and SMEs in Malaysia?
Actually, there's a lot, but to simplify it, I would classify them into two main categories. The first one would be the supply chain financing solutions, whereas the second one would be the secured financing.
I see.
So for supply chain financing, we provide the end-to-end financing solutions for clients in the private and public sectors, and there are quite a wide range of products within the supply chain. This is tailored for clients at different stages of businesses. So whether they want to tender for a new project today, they are looking for funds to pay their suppliers, or they want to get advance payments from their customers' invoices, which may have a very long payment term from their paymasters.
So you do help like every different stages of the business in terms of funding and finding financial solutions for them, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's more on top of that you guys provide in terms of like...
So apart from the supply chain financing solutions that I shared just now, we also have our secured financing where we take lands and properties as collateral. So we have been seeing increase in this market demand. For example, the property developers who may have unsold units from their project or vacant land banks that they want to cash out, and sometimes even contractors which may have contra units that they want to pledge for financing.
You guys do provide a lot of financing solutions for SMEs in Malaysia then. And I assume it's like a lifesaver for businesses that are waiting on payments. And I know late payments can choke up a company's, a business cash flow. But now I want to know, how does the process work of a business that wants to secure financing through CapBay?
Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Basically, the client will come to us with their financing needs. So we will speak to them, understand their company background, the reason of why they need financing, and then we'll put up our proposed solutions to them, which will assist with their cash flow. And then we will basically go through the entire credit assessment process, which we will analyze their company profile, including their financials, their bank statements, their credit records, and most importantly, the historical payment record between the companies and their customers.
So you guys go in detail, very customized approach towards the financing process then, right?
Yeah.
But how long does this usually take? Because it sounds like a lot to me.
Yeah. This approval process can take as fast as 7 days.
7 days? That's actually pretty fast compared to traditional banking, because I'm sure traditional banking takes, longer than 7 days, I would assume. So thinking of that, can you list some of the advantages that business can expect when they partner with CapBay for their financing solution? Because one of them is apparently very fast financing solution. Well, on top of that, what else can you expect from CapBay?
Yeah. I would say speed and flexibility are the competitive advantage that we have here in CapBay because we always try to structure the financing solutions according to the market demand and tailored for the client's need. And of course, our team is always ready to do their best to meet the client's expected timeline.
Of course.
There was one time we actually completed a deal within a week time from getting clients' inquiry until the disbursement of funds.
Oh, so that really is a testament to how fast and how flexible you guys are when it comes to providing solution. So yeah, speed and flexibility, those are your main advantages working with CapBay then.
Correct.
But now I want to talk about eligibility. How do you assess whether a business is a good fit for financing with CapBay?
Like I mentioned earlier, we do look at the overall company profile when we do credit assessment. But of course, there are certain elements that we put more weightage on when we assess.
I see.
So for supply chain financing, we will focus more on analyzing the historical payment record between the supplier and the buyer. So this will allow us to rely more on the financial and the credit strength of the paymaster,
Which is the buyer.
Yeah, which is the buyer, which is typically stronger. Yeah, because they are normally the large corporates like listed co, GLC, MNC.
I see.
So this would actually allow the more SMEs to who couldn't get bank financing to actually
have access to
have
funding.
access to more funding by leveraging on their paymaster strength.
I see. What about asset-backed financing? Is there any difference in terms of approach there? Do you focus on certain aspects?
Yep. So for the basic stuff, we still look at the overall company profile, but for secured financing, we would focus more on the marketability of the assets. So now we are happy to explore assets located all over the country, including East Malaysia.
Oh, so you guys are expanding to that part of the region as well.
Yep,
Do you see a bigger market there?
We do see a market there, and we have actually started taking collaterals from the East Malaysia side.
It makes sense how you guys approach eligibility there because you need to make sure the money will come back eventually, right?
Yeah.
You're putting money there, you expect there's a return in the end. But moving on to that and seeing you guys and how far you guys gone through, right? I want to know what are some of the success story from CapBay's financing. So do you have any example of businesses that have really benefited from CapBay's financing solution?
Okay, so other than the typical trading or manufacturing industries, the one industry that we often see facing cash flow issue would be the construction companies.
Really?
Yeah.
Construction companies?
Correct, because they always need working capital to run their project, especially to purchase for their materials or to pay for their foreign worker costs. Yeah, but usually the construction companies had to wait for quite a long payment term to get their payments back from their customers.
And if they were to go to traditional banking method, is it not as feasible or is it like more of a hassle for them?
So for certain banks, there might be some sort of capping for industry exposure. So construction might not be one favorable industry to some banks.
To get back to the success story, when it comes to supply chain financing,
within the supply chain, so the construction companies, they now get to factor their invoices with CapBay to get their advance payment. So instead of having to wait for the long payment term, they get the cash immediately now to pay for their suppliers and their labor costs. So this not only helps them with their working capital, but it also helps with their expansion, especially when they have opportunities to run a few projects at the same time.
And I'm assuming that throughout all these industries that you've supported, which one is the biggest one that you guys financed so far?
In fact, construction industry is one of the largest segments that we finance.
Oh, is it? I mean, based on what we discussed, it seems like they have the most trouble getting finance, right?
Yeah.
Is there an example, maybe like a property developer or something like that?
Yeah. So we do have our success stories with the property developers in the market as well, because we see them having cash flow issue when they have a lot of unsold units for their existing projects, but at the same time, they want to start their new projects. So usually what we do is we will refinance their unsold units from their existing project and give them the cash to start with their new project as the working capital.
I see. So you're really helping this unused capital for all these property developers. I love hearing that. I mean, it must be satisfying to see businesses strive with the help of CapBay, right? But looking ahead, what trends are you seeing in business financing? How is CapBay staying ahead of the curve? Because I'm assuming the industry moves so fast that it's hard to keep track sometimes. So how's your approach there?
We actually see more and more businesses turning into the alternative financing options because they are obviously faster and more flexible. And apart from that, at CapBay, we are also always trying to enhance our digital platforms to try and make it more seamless for the SMEs and companies. And at the same time, we also always explore new products or new programs to tailor for the market demand and the client needs.
Just on the digital stuff, have you seen more people approaching the digital platform than the traditional method?
Yeah.
Because I would assume businesses, they tend to prefer the brick and mortar, the traditional ways. But have you seen that uptick in businesses today being more acceptable or open to digital platforms?
Yeah, definitely. I think that is being proven by the growth of CapBay also.
True, that is true. You guys are growing at an exponential rate, if I might say so myself. Well, that's all very exciting stuff. I would like to know, do you guys have anything working in the pipeline? Is there any products or services that we can look forward from CapBay in the future?
Yeah, we do have something in the pipeline, but it's still a work in progress. So we also can't wait to share it to the market. So stay tuned.
Okay, so I guess they can tease us with that, and hopefully we get to know more about it in the future. And I'm sure businesses will be eager to see what these new products are.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap up, I just want to get your opinion and your thoughts. Do you have any advice for SMEs that are looking to secure financing, but aren't really sure or just don't know where to start?
Okay, I think my little advice would be to explore all the options that you have, because sometimes when businesses come to us, the first thing they may say will be like, oh, your product is expensive, like much more expensive than the bank. But actually, if you look at it from the other way, the opportunity cost of losing the potential business due to the cash flow issue might be more expensive.
Is that a familiar case when dealing with people who look for secure financing from you guys, that they say it's not worth?
It's quite common. It's quite common. Like, this question is quite common to us.
So how do you guys provide an education for them? Like, how do you inform them better? Through I'm assuming there's platforms that you guys do and share to educate businesses on this, right?
Yeah. So usually we will explain to them on some of the competitive advantage that we have here, especially on our digital platform, which will ease their operational process. It won't create more work or more trouble to the internal team of the companies, and of course of the speed.
I see. I mean, that's great to hear. And to finally wrap things up and not take too much of your time, could you just share with us and our audiences where can they find more information about CapBay?
They can visit our website at capbay.com. For their business financing needs, they can visit capbay.com/getfunds. Also, do check out our social medias by searching CapBay or CapBay Malaysia. So stay tuned with our new product and new program updates.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for joining us, Xian. It's been really insightful learning about all this SME financing, especially for people like myself who is not familiar with the industry and how it helps a lot of businesses here. So yeah, hopefully this will get to more people and they will look for you guys for financing. So thank you again for coming over.
Thanks for having me.
And for everyone who's watching, if you enjoy what you watch, please give us a subscribe and leave a comment if you want to learn more. Bye.